Huda sat there in the reunion and said, I'm taking full accountability. I shouldn't have been cussing nobody out. And the minute that they played that clip of how she was acting, she was kiki and giggling. If it's not okay, then why are we taking it as a joke? Andy Cohen, I need you to host every single Love Island reunion moving forward because you asked the real deep question. For starters, Alandria should have unfollowed Huda because if I asked you as a friend, hey, can you address your fans that you don't know at all? And let them know racism isn't cool because this has deeply affected me. And you say you will, but then you never do. And later, mysteriously don't mention that I didn't bully you, but say, yeah, I love her. But you also don't say I did bully you and the internet thinks I bullied you. We will forever have a problem, Buki. I think it was convenient for Huda to take the high road because what other road could she take? She's been acting a goddamn fool and none of the cast messed with her except Amaya. And I'm confused as to why because after that Vanity Fair interview, I wouldn't be messing with her either. But that's her business. Furthermore, I'm glad we can wrap it up about this whole bullying thing. I personally don't think Shelly should have apologized, but I did like that she apologized because Huda said this particular clip when we were in the villa made me feel like you bullied me and not necessarily about what people were saying online. So you know what? I take that back because that was very mature of her. Now, what blew my mind was Huda saying, oh, I was going to make it. And then I seen these bullying videos, but it was Alandria who she was close to. And that's the one who really asked her. But then later Shelly says, well, we all were in the room and you said you were going to make it. But Huda then get on the internet quick as hell after she got into it with those streamer people that she really didn't get into it with. But the fans said she did some weird stuff, got them kicked out. And she immediately got on the internet the very next day to say, hey, that's not what it was, y'all. Because she was getting backlash. Chris and Jeremiah, I gotta give it to y'all. Y'all came ready. Y'all didn't play. And I love that y'all stood on business and did not let the whole, oh yeah, that's so old. I'm not worried about that now affect y'all. Because it doesn't matter how much time passed. If somebody does hurt you or they do make you feel uncomfortable, it's okay for you to still have feelings about it. And just because you're over it doesn't mean that other people are over it. Chris said, we're not good. She reached out to me a couple of days before. You had all this time. I'm not really feeling it. Jeremiah said, I'm finna give y'all the definition of love bombing because that's not what I did. I will say, he was giving big dog tonight. And I love how he softened up when Ace was like, yeah, I made a mistake. I wish I would have voted Austin's ass out because I can't stand him. That's literally all he wanted. He got it. And I'm just so happy that they can be friends moving forward because I know his feelings was hurt. But also, I do appreciate how he pointed out that Huda said, hey, he said he wanted me to move in with him and was saying certain things that he never said, which made him seem like a love bomber, but he never, in fact, meant those things or even said them. And so Ace was like, well, that's where my standpoint came from when it came to voting out the house because I was hearing things. So, you know, my bad on that. Now, who didn't get to squash their issues was Alandria, Shelly, and Coco. Coco came in there hot and ready and on team, but Alandria wasn't having it. I understood what Coco was saying. I really do. But I think it's like they were dealing with so much stuff at that time. It was just horrible timing. And had she said, I didn't mean it in that way. I'm apologetic. Instead of saying, if you interpret it that way, I'm sorry. That's what kind of lost it. I wish she would have took the approach that Ace did, which is being mature, taking accountability for your actions and being like, I'm willing to move forward if you are. Because she's just so cute and I want better for her. But at this age and at this point, you should know better. Austin, we did not need him. He could have went home. He said nothing. He wasn't paying attention. I didn't think he was funny. Like, well, he was funny. But Jaden did not deserve that. And it gave, you should have been sent home because you leaving the villa with somebody you had a connection with that you actually like and then deciding, I'm just not going to be upfront and honest with her about who I'm going to date. That's giving Playboy. And you should have never been on that island that goddamn long. Shelly and Ace. Love that he said she his first and last girlfriend and that when he was getting a little riled up with his conversation, she put her hand on that thigh to calm him down. I do wish they asked Nick and Alandria more questions because why not? Hannah, that girl, heaven sent. I want the best for her. Loved all her answers. Loved all her responses. And I'm also very happy that they showed the longer version of some of these conversations because they really were not that deep. And everybody felt bad for sending those people home. I do think somebody should do a case study about how people change when they leave the villa based on the reactions that they get from the fans. Also, Brian's answers to the cheating allegations, that boy was shaking his knee so much. I'm like, nah, I really feel like you did something. And after finding out today that they unfollowed each other, I wouldn't put it past them. Some of them niggas didn't even talk. They didn't show JD having a conversation or Zach with the C. But I am happy that a lot of stuff was nipped in the bud and that they kept in when Alandria said racism. And they all said racism because not talking about it is an issue. Andrina is for the girls and I don't care if you don't think she ain't because she is. She checked Austin real quick. Like, actually, I seen your text messages and you lied. Charlie was feeling some kind of way, though. I don't know why he was feeling some kind of way that deeply, but he was. He said, a nigga could never leave me. I leave myself. Then when he was saying, like, Ace would ask questions and then not really share what he was doing. So he's like, I'm going to keep the cards close to myself. I respect that because if you asking about my business, but you're not sharing, I ain't going to share with you either. But I do think so much time has passed that he just kind of needs to get over the fact that they voted him out. And he's not even having conversations with Hannah anymore, so it doesn't even matter. But this is the reunion, though. And who am I? I just said earlier in the message that if you feel some kind of way, you can feel some kind of way. It don't pass just because everybody else is over it. But he did stand on business, and I gotta respect it. I did love that Nick said, oh, now everybody don't mean what they were saying online. Because that is what I mean when I say somebody should do a case study. Literally, these people have changed how they felt about some of these individuals on the show based on what they've seen online. And now that time has passed and some people are more popular than others, now all of a sudden everybody want to be cool. Which is why I love when Chris said the internet is a whole different world. And a lot of that stuff ain't real. You can't tell people what they can and can't post, so you shouldn't worry about it. Because clearly the love that Shalase and Nicolandria gets in real life is more than the hate that they get on social media. Clark and Taylor didn't really talk much, which I was kind of shocked about. But Clark did have Alandria's back when she was like, did I say that to you? Did I say that to you? She said, girl, no, you ain't say my man, my man, my man. And they all said they ain't hear it. They said, the hell with Coco. We throw you under the bus, boo. But I do recall her saying my man in the confessional. And I think she said, like, y'all trying to date my man. The one time she was talking to them that they showed. But that's when she first came in and she was hella cool. Like, nah, I didn't know y'all was going to be this cool and blah, blah, blah. Y'all trying to date my man. She wasn't saying it like, my man, my man, my man. I love him so much. Nonetheless, they are going to have Love Island games coming up soon. And some of the people on this cast will be on there. So that'll be interesting. But I don't know if I'm going to watch that because I don't really give a damn. Because the couples I liked and found they match. Unless it's like Hannah or something. I'm lying. I'll probably go watch it. Anyways, love the reunion. Andy Cohen did an amazing job. I love that he forced people to elaborate on some of the things that they say because sometimes people would say surface level things and he's like, well, what do you mean by that? Explain that more. I do wish Huda would have said, like, if Shelly was dancing on Jeremiah when they were together, how would she have reacted? She just said, oh, well, I was cool. Chris was dancing on everybody. And that was not the same thing. But from the reunion, we can say that every single thing that the internet had a problem with has been closed, solved, and resolved. So that family that they got, where some people like their cousins more than they like their other cousins, they can have that in peace now. And that's a wrap on Love Island 7. The heart rate challenge at the reunion, yeah, I would have been pissed too. You don't get to lick my man's peanut wiener and call me your homegirl. And you know that's her man because they locked in. And I don't care about y'all saying, oh, they didn't close off. They wasn't exclusive. They were locked in as friends and they were locked in as lovers. It was a lot. And I feel like if you live in a house with somebody for almost 2 months, you know their characteristics and how they get down. And if you are calling somebody your friend, then you know your friend. So if Shelly said this was more than a challenge and everybody's mouth was on the floor like mine, then it was too much. Furthermore, she said in the goddamn reunion that she thinks she did do too much. She said on the show that she did too much. That debate needs to be dead and done. I did like that they played the longer version of the conversation that she had with her about Chris because I do vividly remember when I was watching the show that she said that I know he likes you and I'm bringing him for you and I can explore him too. Now, I definitely do understand Shelly saying like you said it multiple times and you kept trying to point out that it's for me. And it's like, just say that it's for you. And Shelly even says in that conversation, like, I don't really know. This doesn't really feel right. And I think Huda only made that approach because she didn't want Shelly to be upset with her when she simply should have just said, like, I'm interested in him. Nobody else like me. I talk to him. Like, it is what it is. And that's what Shelly's issue was. Like, don't say it's for me when it's really for you. Furthermore, I also think that Shelly should have talked on this more, but it seemed like a shocker to her the way that she went all out on Ace and never expressed to her, like, I got an interest in him because that's what people do during those competitions. They show, hey, this is who I'm interested in. And if you were ever interested in my boo, then you should have told me that instead of doing it during this challenge and we're supposed to be friends and you're preaching sisterhood left and right. But the fact that the cast was saying, is this soft corn? Should we be watching this? And me and my homegirl's mouth is on the floor too? That was a lot. That was a lot. And I remember Chris saying like she did that to everybody, but I don't remember her doing that to everybody. She only did that to people that she was interested in. She did that to JD. She did that to Jeremiah. And she did that to Chris, if I'm not mistaken. All people that she was coupled up with. And then she does it to Ace. So again, Shelly had the right to be mad because in my mind, I would think you would be interested in my man and you not saying nothing. Nonetheless, they squashed the beef, so it is what it is. But that's my take on that tea because I know y'all gonna ask me. I also wish they would have showed Alandria going to Nick on that heart rate challenge because y'all know Nick Alandria was watching so we can get some more clips of them. We didn't really get that many extra clips of them. We didn't get no extra clips at all. But I'm very happy that Nick said, I'm not interested in talking to Sierra. Here's why. Let's close that chapter. Let's move on. He's so great with words and how he expresses himself. I definitely was like, you know what? I love that response. Saying that she was more into it for the attention and the views than to actually have the conversation. Good job, King. And even though Zach with the K wasn't on there that long, he's funny as hell. I love that he was falling asleep on some of them answers because some of that shit was ridiculous. And he also was like, okay, y'all cool, y'all in a relationship now. But I know he feels like he is vindicated. He said Brian was in it for the money, and now all of a sudden, Amaya and Brian are not together no more. So I know he at home clapping the air. He finna get on live right now.